Ready to have your sleep schedule ruined for the next week? Good, because today we're diving deep into the golden era of Asian horror cinema. The early 2000s, forget the big names you already know, like The Ring or Ju-on. We're going off the beaten path to unearth 10 terrifying gems that might have slipped under your radar. These are the films that haunted local theaters and became the stuff of playground legends across Asia. So turn off the lights, grab a pillow to hide behind, and let's count down the top 10 underrated Asian horror movies from the early 2000s. Starting. Our list at number 10 is the 2007 Thai film, Body. This isn't just your average ghost story. It is a chilling medical thriller about a man haunted by the ghost of a woman who he believes was dismembered by his own family. The film masterfully blends supernatural horror with the cold, sterile environment of a hospital morgue. It's a slow burn, but the final act delivers a series of twists and graphic imagery that will stick with you. A little trivia: the film was inspired by a real-life crime in Thailand, where a doctor was implicated in the murder and dismemberment of his wife, adding a horrifying layer of reality to the whole experience. At number 9, we have The Victim, another Thai masterpiece from 2006. This one has a brilliant meta-narrative. It follows an aspiring actress who gets her big break playing the victim in police crime scene reenactments. She's so good at it that she starts to get haunted by the actual ghost of one of the victims she portrayed. The line between reality, the reenactments, and the supernatural becomes terrifyingly blurred. It's a clever, self-aware horror film that plays with the very concept of storytelling. It's both a ghost story and a commentary on the entertainment industry's obsession with tragedy. Coming in at number 8 is the Filipino cult classic, Feng Shui, from 2004. The premise is simple but so effective. A woman finds a bagua, a feng shui mirror, and her luck changes for the better. But there's a catch. Every bit of good fortune is followed by the death of someone close to her, always corresponding to their Chinese zodiac sign. The film taps into cultural superstitions that are deeply rooted in many Asian societies, making the horror feel incredibly personal and plausible. It's a cautionary tale about curses and fate that builds a relentless sense of dread. At number 7, we have the South Korean film Into the Mirror from 2003. Years before Kiefer Sutherland starred in the American remake, this original delivered a unique and unsettling concept. The story centers on a disgraced ex-cop working as a security guard in a newly rebuilt department store that was destroyed by a fire. A series of bizarre deaths leads him to believe that something sinister is lurking within the store's many mirrors. It's a psychological horror that uses reflections and doppelgangers to create a deep sense of paranoia and identity crisis. Forget jump scares, this one messes with your head. Number 6 takes us to Japan with Kayako, also known as Pulse, from 2001. While it got a US remake, the original is a far more atmospheric and existentially terrifying experience. The film explores a world where ghosts are invading the living world through the internet. It's not about ghosts jumping out of your monitor. It's about a pervasive, soul-crushing loneliness that spreads like a virus, leading to a quiet, desolate apocalypse. Director Kiyoshi Kurosawa creates a vision of a world slowly fading to gray, and it's one of the most depressing and profoundly scary films ever made. It captured the anxieties of the early digital age perfectly. Halfway through our list at number 5 is The Eye, the original 2002 Hong Kong Singaporean production. A young woman, blind since childhood, receives a corneal transplant that restores her sight, but she gets more than she bargained for. She starts seeing shadowy figures, spirits of the dead, and horrifying premonitions of death. The film is a masterclass in building tension, with iconic, terrifying scenes like the one in the elevator. A cool piece of trivia: the Pang brothers, the directors, were inspired by a real news story about a 16-year-old who received a cornea transplant and later committed suicide. This adds a tragic weight to the film's supernatural scares. At number 4, we have the South Korean film, A Tale of Two Sisters from 2003. This is less of a straight-up horror movie and more of a hauntingly beautiful, tragic, and deeply disturbing psychological gothic romance. Based on a Korean folktale, it follows two sisters who return home to live with their father and their cruel stepmother. From there, a series of disturbing events unfolds, blurring the lines between what's real and what's imagined. The film is visually stunning, and its narrative is a complex puzzle. The final plot twist is absolutely devastating and recontextualizes the entire movie, demanding an immediate rewatch. Sliding into number 3 is the Indonesian cult favorite, Jelangkung, or The Uninvited from 2001. This film single-handedly revitalized Indonesia's horror genre. It's about a group of friends who, out of morbid curiosity, use a jelangkung, a type of crude doll used in a ritual to summon spirits. As you can guess, things go horribly wrong. What makes it so effective is its found footage feel, years before it became a Hollywood trend. Shot on a low budget with a documentary style, it feels raw, immediate, and terrifyingly real. It's a classic cautionary tale about meddling with forces you don't understand. Our runner-up at number 2 is the 2004 Japanese film Infection or Kansen. This is a claustrophobic nightmare set in a rundown, understaffed hospital. After a doctor's fatal mistake is covered up by the staff, a patient with a mysterious infection is brought in. The infection causes its victims to liquefy into green goo, but not before they go completely insane. The film is a masterclass in paranoia and body horror. You're trapped in this decrepit hospital with the sleep-deprived, guilt-ridden staff as they turn on each other, and you're never sure if the infection is real or a shared delusion. It's gruesome, tense, and utterly fantastic. And finally, my number 1 underrated Asian horror film from the early 2000s is the 2004 Thai phenomenon, Shutter. A young photographer and his girlfriend are haunted by a female spirit after a hit-and-run accident. At first, it seems like a standard revenge ghost story, but it's the execution that makes it a masterpiece. The spirit isn't just in the shadows. She's in their photographs, appearing as ghostly blurs and faces. The concept of spirit photography is used to maximum effect, creating some of the most iconic and terrifying scares in horror history. And that final reveal, it's one of the most shocking and unforgettable endings of all time. It's a perfect horror film that delivers on suspense, jump scares, and a truly horrifying story. And that's our list. 10 films that prove the early 2000s were a golden age for horror all across Asia. These movies did more than just scare us. They tapped into cultural anxieties and folklore in a way that still resonates today. What are your favorite underrated Asian horror movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip down a dark and terrifying memory lane, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of cinema. Thanks for watching, and try to get some sleep tonight.